Several years ago, I moved to the US from China. And when I first got here, I interviewed for a job as an office assistant. And during my interview, my interviewer asked me whether or not I knew how to use Microsoft Excel. To which I replied, "Oh, I know how to use spreadsheet. I use spreadsheet at school all the time." As you can imagine, my interviewer did not take me very seriously after that. And in fact, there's many people like me who's faced the same situation, where our heavy accent prevented us from being able to articulate our thoughts. Now imagine the long-term impact that this has over one's career. In my journey, I'm not alone. There's actually 1.5 billion English learners in the world who struggle with the challenge of English pronunciation. Overall, every year, they spend about $65 billion learning English. And most people get to a point where they can learn to read and write fairly well. But when it comes to pronunciation, that's a different story. Studies have found that people who speak with a heavy accent are perceived to be about 30% less trustworthy. And also, it affects their income. They earn about 40% less than those who speak English properly. So my team and I have founded ELSA to help those around the world speak English with proper pronunciation. We developed an app that coaches you to pronounce English using artificial intelligence. Now, there are many apps already on the market that teach you how to speak English. Those apps typically play a video or an audio of the correct pronunciation. And then it relies on the user themselves to mimic what the audio is saying. But this is actually really difficult for a user whose mother tongue is not English, because many of the sounds that they're trying to produce actually do not exist in their native tongue. So what we do differently is we figured out a way to use machine learning to analyze the user's speech, figures out what sounds they're mispronouncing, and then tells them exactly what to do differently, like moving their mouth or tongue in a different way. So since we launched about a year ago, we were recognized by Apple in the App Store as the top education app in over 25 countries in Europe. And we won first place in the South by Southwest launch competition last year. This is my co-founders. All of us have struggled firsthand with learning to pronounce English as a second language. And I myself have spent about 5 years improving my pronunciation to what you hear now. And we're advised by a team of some of the best people in the speech industry, including Paul Meyer, who is our curriculum strategist. Paul is a world-renowned pronunciation coach, and he's trained actors, including Tobey Maguire, and also business executives from around the world. Now let me show you how ELSA works.
Information sheet.
The user will speak a word. ELSA tells them,
to make the E sound, try to spread your lips and slightly lengthen the vowel. Sheet.
So ELSA told them what to do.
Information sheet.
ELSA just pronounced it for them. And the user tries again.
Information sheet.
This time, the user got it right. So we launched about a year ago, and since then, we have gotten 750,000 users onto our user base with zero marketing spend. And our users are very engaged. They have practiced about 25 million exercises on ELSA. As our users practice their exercises, we're actually recording their voices and using all the exercise data to then feed that into our AI model. So the more users that we get, the more data we'll have, and then the more accurate our engine becomes. Now, last but not least, our users' pronunciation skills have improved. We've shown that for users who practice on ELSA for 10 minutes every single day, they will see a 40% improvement within the first 3 weeks of using ELSA. Now, we do a variety of things to try to engage our users. But just to give you a sense of how a user engages with ELSA, I'm going to just show you a video of a real user. This user happens to be the husband of Salma Hayek, and he's been trying to improve his pronunciation. He's from France and has a French accent.
And he said, you know what, guys, I'm going to get a dialect coach. I'm going to get rid of the accent before you, who've been living in the States for like 67 years, referring to me. But he never mentioned it again, so I thought he didn't do it, right? A couple of days ago, I am texting something, and I see his phone, and there is this message. Hi, this is Elena. If you want to improve your English, you have to practice. Do you want to practice now? Jimmy, I'm Mexican, you know? This doesn't go
Hey,
well.
don't mess it. Yeah, do not mess
So
with this.
I was so furious, and I said, well, obviously she's desperate, you know, so he's not calling her. Should I say something? I said, I'm not gonna say anything. I trust him, I'm not gonna say anything. 4 hours later, we're eating. I'm cool, everything, I'm acting, hi baby, everything's okay. I'm eating, and I go, who the hell is Elena? Who the hell is Elena? And he's like, I don't
Throw
know.
something, yeah.
Must be one of your cousins, Elena's. I don't know any Elena.
Oh, really? You
And I
don't
go,
know Elena.
and you tell that Elena that I speak English, you can practice your English with me because she sent you a message.
Yeah.
And he goes, you mean Elsa? Elsa, Elena, whatever. And he starts laughing. It's an app. Like Siri. Her name is Elsa.
Anyway, it also gets people in trouble once in a while. We are expanding to other countries and markets, so we're looking for strategic partners. So if you have any leads, please come find me.